And we're excited to have our own EXP Chief Marketing Officer, Wendy Forsyth, joining us this morning. I don't see her yet on the screen. Wendy, pipe up if I'm not seeing you. I don't think she's with us yet.
Well,
Anyway,
good morning, Miss Speaks. How are you?
well, hey, Miss Megan Clark, how are you?
I'm all right. I'm excited for tonight.
I know. So all of us Austin folks, we've got our holiday party this evening, which we're
Aw,
all looking forward to. Wish all of you could be with us from near and
me
far all
too.
over the USA and beyond.
Elizabeth Garth, where are you out of?
Tipple, trying to
Temple.
get to Austin
Oh, good.
desperately.
Oh,
I
yes,
wasn't Austin. I was driving every day until I switched brokerages to this Rockstar team. And but in Tipple at the moment.
yes. Okay, girl. Well, I sure hope you
Not too far away.
get to us. Wendy Forsyth, we have you with us.
Good morning.
I'm so excited that you're joining us
I
today.
wore my EXP shirt, but you can't really see it with the camera angle. I gotta move back here. I was trying to be all like branding.
Look at
Swag.
you. Because you are
Swag.
our chief marketing officer. So
I figured
yeah.
I should show up. I teased Elizabeth. I might show up with, bells on, but like jingle bells, but I didn't get
Hey,
ready for you this morning.
Oh, you're so awesome. Okay, those of you who have not yet met Wendy, you're meeting Wendy Forsyth, who's amazing. I first met her at the Win event here in Austin, that EXP Win event that was amazing. And then a few times since then. And every time I am in the room with Wendy Forsyth, I'm like, just amazing energy. You just want more of her.
turkey.
Anyway, it's so awesome that we have her as our chief marketing officer. As of, we're going on about 8 months, 9 months, Wendy?
Yeah, I started in April. But I don't remember a time when I wasn't like living and breathing and coexisting alongside all of you. So
Oh,
I have like you've all embraced me into the EXP community and culture. So I'm so excited to be here.
Well, you know what? I think the night that you and I sat together at a dinner and you shared with me kind of exactly what you were just referencing of this long history that you've had, like you weren't new to EXP when you joined us in April. Like you have this long history of a friendship with Glenn and like the makings of EXP way back in the day. So maybe that's where we start. I think that was such a fun story when you told me that. And I think it really creates context for kind of how you were always seemed to be destined to join us officially, right?
Yeah,
Just
it
had a little
feels like
detours along the
that.
way.
Yeah, it does. It feels like that. So, first of all, thank you for having me on. It's great to be here, and like it's great to start to see familiar names and faces. So, it's always fun to be able to just start to like add those real life interactions with all of you. And yeah, as Stacy said, like we did get to chat a little bit when I was in Austin, and we were together for a bit. And so my real estate story in like the elevator pitch is I started selling real estate when I was in college. And it was my dad's idea that if I wanted to be a business person, I should learn how to be a salesperson. And he still to this day is a new home contractor.
oh
So,
wow.
like most developers, was unhappy with his real estate agents at the time, and he had just built a couple houses on spec and opened up a new subdivision. So he came up with this grand idea when I was in my second year of getting my business degree in college that I should get my real estate license and sit his open houses on his spec house. And he did all the math, right? Being a good dad and good mentor, he was like, if you just sell one house during the summer, you'll make more money than you would like at your part-time job. So that was my foray into real estate. And I sold a bunch of houses that summer, went back to school in the fall, but still kept selling real estate and graduated with my degree and then still kept selling real estate. So fast forward a number of years later, I started my career in Canada. and owned a brokerage there, sold a brokerage there, and started working, what we would say on the corporate side for a large brokerage in Canada called Royal LePage. From there, I was recruited down to the US to help launch the Better Homes and Gardens real estate brand. And this was 2007 when Realogy had acquired that brand and was looking to start franchising it out as another brand under their umbrella. So Coldwell Banker, ERA, Sotheby's, Century 21, they were adding Better Homes and Gardens. So I was employee number 2 there. We launched that brand in the summer of 2008, and the market crashed that fall. So it was a very interesting time to be, launching a new real estate franchise brand. So all of our budgets got, cut and pulled back, and we needed to find a way to grassroots market that brand. And there was a bit of an uphill battle because the Better Homes and Gardens brand is synonymous with the magazine. So we're trying to be this fresh new brand in the real estate space, but we're carrying this fabulous legacy, right, of that brand from the magazine and from the cookbook, but trying to translate that over to why would this be a benefit to you as a real estate agent with a very limited budget. And at the time, there was a movement in the real estate industry called Real Estate Bar Camp. And it came from the tech industry. And it really was an informal gathering that is very much like what Elizabeth runs at EXPCon now, X Camp. So these bar camps were happening all over the country. And that's where I met Glenn, was at Real Estate Bar Camp. So we would attend these real estate bar camps, and it was a way of meeting agents, meeting brokerage owners, understanding what was happening with technology, how marketing was changing because of technology. And in every one of those rooms, Glenn Sanford was in every room. So I, always thought he was so interesting. And we would chat, and he never much like most of you have probably met Glenn in today's version of Glenn, but it's very similar back then. Glenn is not the person that's going to be dominating the conversation in a room, but when he speaks, he's contributing in a very thoughtful, very interesting way. So I would always seek him out to pick his brain on what he was thinking about technology. And that's how we sort of garnered a friendship. And so then I watched the company grow. And there actually were a couple times over the years that we talked about opportunities to work with all of you, and they just didn't match up. And as the cliche saying, timing is everything. And finally the timing was right. But so that's the backstory is Real Estate Bar Camp is probably responsible for why I'm sitting here today. So always be out there networking and learning new things and making new connections.
Wow, 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 wow. I love that. So back in the what was it? Bar camp? Yeah, it was bar camp,
Yeah,
right?
RE Bar Camp.
That's right. So was that when Glenn was still at KW, or had he already started building EXP?
It was initially he was still at KW and he was just starting to build. So if you sort of fast forward a few years, it was when he, started EXP. And I remember distinctly, him being kind of poo-pooed by people. Of the model isn't going to work, virtual isn't gonna attract agents, revenue share, they don't understand that. So it's been fascinating to see the commitment of a visionary like Glenn to a new idea, right? And to always be ideating on how to improve it. And I mean, we've seen that this year, right? We have tweaked and made revenue share like a little better for all of you. So that constant evolution, that's very much how he approaches the business. And I was in meetings with him this week, and we were talking about something. There was a group of us there, and he stopped the group full stop, and he said, guys, we are the most agent-centric brokerage on the planet. Not brokerage, not, institutional, like agents. Like we have to stay true to what's best for our agents. Like he has not wavered from that in 15 years and probably even before then. But like that is the commitment, and that is, he keeps all of us on that track every single day. And it's amazing having started as an agent. I like I always say, I think with my agent hat first, right? Because that's my DNA. So it's amazing to see his leadership and Leo's leadership so aligned with that, because there's a lot of different things, like directions you can go, but it always comes back to what's going to work for you guys, because you're out there in the field every day. You're the boots on the ground. You're dealing with all the amazing things this industry has and all the crazy things, right? Being a professional realtor brings along with it too.
Yeah, I mean, that's just to your point, I mean, I feel like that is the cornerstone of EXP. If there's one cornerstone, which there's more than one, but it's just the relentless commitment to being the most agent centric, and then how that trickles down to all of us, because we feel that all the time.
Good.
The lead that Leo took from within 24 hours of the NAR settlement happening in March, or the first iteration of it, I guess, to EXPCon, to all the things. It just feels like it is all done to make our lives better and easier. And then I love it. What did he say? What did Glenn say at EXPCon, somewhere on a stage, where he said, we're just always in beta.
Yeah.
We're always iterating. And I love the commitment to, we're not claiming to have it all. We just always want to be making it better, and we'll make it better. Like, give us feedback. That's why you guys want our feedback, is always making it better. So that kind of commitment is like a different brand of leadership, I feel like,
It is. And it is like that mindset of being in startup mode. Like he reminds, the team that he works closely with often of like, we always need to be thinking like we're in startup mode. Because like when you get into that, like, red tape, corporate bureaucracy, like that is not the type of company we are or will ever be. And it's fun to be a part of that. Like Glenn goes from like idea to implementation very quickly. And like, that's what great startup founders do, right? They say like, sometimes things aren't going to work. And if it doesn't work, that's okay. But we've got to keep trying. We've got to keep, pushing forward with the new ideas, because that's how we evolve. That's how we get better. That's how the value proposition, improves and continues to be the best in the industry.
Well, along that line, you hit the ground running. You've obviously found your tribe, because you are every bit like Glenn and Leo. You hit the ground running and have done some amazing things. And I'd love to know, how would you like to spend this time? In terms of what you've been working on, what you're passionate about, what you're bringing to us, what you can share with us. However whatever direction you want to take this conversation, it's yours.
Well, cool. And like, I would say the same. So I would love to give just a few updates on some of the big initiatives that are underway. And then maybe we can just open it up to Q&A, because I would like to just spend this time and bring like value to all of you. Like, what questions, do you have? What feedback would you like to give? So maybe I can take 5 minutes for some updates, and then we can take it from there.
I think it's great. So everybody get your questions ready for Wendy, because she just,
I see Todd like already typing, like he's like ready for questions. I have no doubt about it. Yeah, you're right center in my screen, and I see Brian laughing. So I'm ready. Let's go. So let me share some updates that I want to make sure are top of mind since we're together. So first off, we launched Canva last Friday. So that was like a big initiative for us. And I wanted to share the why we did that with all of you. And, you know, we've already talked about like being the most agent-centric brokerage, and branding and marketing, right, are what you all do every single day. And you are like the best of the best of doing that. And it's a central part of success in real estate today. And we wanted to get you the best software and the best tool to help make that easier for you. And that is Canva. Like Canva has changed and disrupted the design world, where in the past you needed to know how to use some pretty sophisticated software to produce, you know, graphics and videos and designs of a certain quality. And Canva has given that ability to all of us. So that was like a sort of a driving force of like getting all of you the best possible design software to use. A couple features of it that I want to highlight if you're not aware is we built a listing integration into Canva. So you can go into Canva, and on the left-hand side, you'll see a button that says apps, and you can type in eXp listing app. And it will add the listing app there. And then you can type in an MLS number and it will pull in all of your listing data.
Okay, wait a minute. I'm having a moment here. Did you
Yeah,
guys
you're
know
having a
this?
moment. Can I, if somebody can get me an MLS number of one of their listings, I can do a screen share and show you.
Okay, Megan or
Would that be
Jacqueline,
good?
somebody. Give
Okay,
Miss Wendy an MLS number.
let me get a screen share here. Is it gonna let me
Oh.
share my screen?
You should have, okay, where's Annika? I'm running, or Annika's running Elizabeth's Zoom room, so let me see.
Got it.
Do you have sharing ability? Does it look like you do on your side?
I'm looking here. I'm pushing the button, but let me switch from being in a Google world to being in a Zoom world. They sometimes don't play together well.
And Matthew Kemps and Megan both gave you MLS numbers in the chat if you want to copy
Oh,
and paste
cool.
those once you're
Okay.
able to.
All right. You should see a Google tab here. Do you guys see
we got
that?
it. Yep.
Mhm.
Okay, so I'm gonna just enter in Canva. I'm gonna take you to home. All right, you guys all seeing that? We're on the home page?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So down here on the left, there's a little apps button here. And if you click that, the very first time that you do it, it's going to take you into apps, and you would search here in apps, eXp listings. And see, it says eXp listings beta. Once you do that, it's going to install that app for you so that it will always be there for you. That's just the very first time that you need to do that. So then when you go to do a project, you can pick a, let's say that I want to do a open house template. So we pulled, let me start with one fresh that we'll start with like a brand new design. Let's do a social media. Okay, I'm gonna pick, I don't know, like Christmas. It doesn't matter what it is. It's just, well, maybe I do. I do want to pick an open house. I didn't want to pick one that was done. Open house. I'll learn how to type. Okay, open house flyer. Okay, cool. These are all currently non-branded eXp open house flyers. So let's say that I want to pick this flyer. I like that template. Now I want to make it sort of all EXP-ized. So the first thing I'll want to do then is see over here on the left how this appeared, eXp listings. That's your eXp listings app. I'll click on that. I want to find the listing that I want to do the open house on for. So can somebody read me the MLS number so I don't have to bounce back and forth to screens?
So let me give you, okay, I'll read you one. So
Yeah.
649-5050, 649-5050.
649-5050.
Jacqueline, that's yours. I snagged yours.
308 Coopers. All right, here we go. Here is your listing. All of your images for that listing that you have on
Wow.
MLS are now pulled into Canva for you. So it's all there, all of the listing details. So the remarks that you've written on MLS, bedrooms, bathrooms, price are all there. All of your information. So Jacqueline, all of your information is there. So now we want to replace Jacqueline's picture over here with that agent's picture. And bam, there she
Wow.
is in the middle of that.
Cool.
We want to change the name here from Olivia Wilson to Jacqueline's name. Bam, it is there. It's replaced. And you can change the font and do all that kind of stuff. We want to replace contact information there. We can just pull that over. And again, you can change the font and do that there. This one doesn't seem to have a phone number on it, but you can put all of that info. Let's go back to images. I want to change the images. That's a beautiful image. I want to put that up front there. I want to pick an interior image. Let me find a kitchen image to put here. And you're just dragging and dropping, and it's doing the magic
wow.
and the rest of it for you.
Cool,
Mind
huh?
blown. I think we're all
That's
having
awesome.
a mind is blown moment here,
Yeah.
right?
All of your listings that are on MLS are there. So now say I want to make this like more consistent with the EXP branding. You don't need to do that. If you like this color scheme or you have a certain color scheme you like to do, you can leave it that way. But you do want to get, so if you want to get EXP logo on there, you can like drop and drag the logo wherever you'd want it to go. Because it wasn't in the format, you're just gonna have to resize it here. So I can put my logo there. Make sure you're like your department, you're following all of your Department of Real Estate rules with your license number if you need to have that on it. But for color schemes, like if you do want to use sort of EXP colors, you can sort of shuffle the various color palettes there. And it will do that for you. If you have your own color scheme that you want to use, like I said, you just like pick the block and like change the colors. So it's all plug and play for you to create really great designs for your listings. When I finish this, then I can resize it and I can say, okay, I want to turn this now into an Instagram story. I want to turn it into an Instagram post. I want to turn it into a Facebook post. So it will take all of that design that you've just done and resize it for various uses for you. It will take things and turn it into videos for your Instagram reels. So there's all kinds of magic to play with there.
That's cool.
My mind is blown. My mind is blown.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Wendy, do we have an exclusivity with Canva on this with EXP, or do we just have an unfair advantage right now?
Yeah, so Canva will still obviously sell Canva Pro, which is essentially what this is. It's Canva Enterprise Pro to other agents. I mean, they already have, I'm sure, probably thousands and thousands, millions of agents on it. But from a company perspective, we have an enterprise exclusivity agreement with them that you won't see one of our competitors announcing that they have sort of the same Canva relationship that we have.
Wow.
Is the MLS tool exclusive to EXP, or is that or is
You're
that
breaking up a bit, Brian. I think I got the question.
Oh.
So I think the question was, is the MLS tool exclusive to EXP? So it's attached to our EXP Enterprise account. And it was built for us, and it will only pull in your EXP listings. So you can't put a listing number of another agent's listings and pull that data in. It's only EXP listings. So it is exclusive to EXP listings, and they haven't built it for anyone else.
Can you
Well,
clarify?
I think this
that a
is
little
pretty
bit?
awesome, Wendy. And I know Compass kind of has a lot of these same tools. Are we going to get more of what Compass has for like CMAs and stuff like that?
Yeah, so Compass has a CMA tool that is not used a lot. So it's not on my immediate product roadmap, but something to flag and something that we can certainly think about. Would that be a helpful tool for all of you, a CMA builder?
I would say
Yes.
yes.
Yeah.
In
Yes.
fact, and just because I will see what everybody else, get the pulse on everyone else.
Yeah.
That question comes up a lot in my EXP friend circles. It pops up a lot is, what is everybody using for CMA? What is everybody using for CMA? And, you know, a lot of us had tools like that from previous brokerages we've been at. And so I would tend to think, man, if we had something super slick, like,
Yeah.
I don't know what everybody uses. Some people use Cloud CMA, some people use Moxie, some people just use what MLS provides us that isn't real sexy or pretty. What do you guys think? What are you using?
Pop in the
Yes.
chat if that's like a yes, we should put that on the product
Okay.
roadmap.
Yes.
I say,
I think generally I'm getting that feedback. Okay, that's great feedback to get.
and then what, if everybody would chime in, if there's been a CMA tool that you have liked to use, maybe share that as well. That way we can put Wendy on a path to,
Yes.
to tell
I'm
people what we
being
like.
focused first. I'm taking some notes, and feel free in Workplace to drop me any suggestions as well. You can find me there.
So I have a question real quick. You said it can only pull in EXP's listing. One difference with Compass is Compass can pull in any MLS listing. If you were doing an open house for another non-brokerage listing, you could make marketing for them for that. And that
Yeah.
is one thing that limits EXP, because I've had that trouble with the previous marketing center. It wouldn't pull in anything else. And you said it could only do your own listings. You mean mine as an agent or EXP?
No, it will do any EXP agents listings.
Is there a reason why it's not any MLS listing?
Yeah, it just gets a lot more complicated with like IDX, data feed, rules and policies, and where we use it and how we use it. It would have taken us a lot longer to build it if we built it to pull in every single listing. So we went with all of our EXP listings just to expedite the timeline.
Is that something that's on track to add? Because I think that would be helpful. I mean, I would use it for sure.
Yeah, it's something that we sort of put a parking lot pin in. We're like waiting to get some feedback like this on how we would prioritize projects.
And Eddie, you can still pull in pictures from Canva. It's not, I mean, it takes a little bit longer. It's not instant.
Yeah,
You can still make it happen pretty easily. Canva is just easy to manipulate.
Yeah. Add them. That's how I did it in the previous marketing center. It's just an extra steps, but
yeah, cool. And so I see Belle has a question about or no, right above that, Erica first. If you have an assistant. Okay, so here's the I know many of you have done like software and product launches in previous lives, just from getting to know some of you. Here's the things that like are always like, oh, how are we going to solve for that? So the permissions is based on your EXP email addresses. So many of your assistants and VAs, they don't have EXP email addresses. So we are working with Canva on like, how can we, if I have a Gmail address, how do I get you into the EXP Enterprise Instant? How would we manage security around that? All of the, you can imagine sort of unpeeling that onion. The short-term workaround would be to let your assistant log in with your information directly through canva.com. So if they go to canva.com, type in, wendy.forsyth@exprealty.net, type in my password. That would get them into your enterprise Canva as you, so that they can work on your designs. That will not get them into all the other places your EXP username and password gets them into, right? If you were going into through the Employee Agent Center dashboard, or the Okta dashboard, or the My EXP login. So that's the way that you can get them in, just to Canva on your behalf. Makes all of our IT security people very uncomfortable. So so they keep this between us. But that's how you can get in there.
All 66 of y'all, or 71 of y'all now. So
Keep a secret. Don't get me in trouble. Might be the last time you see me.
Okay, we got your back, Wendy. We got your
Okay,
back.
thank you.
Okay, this is so awesome, y'all. Okay, so. Okay, I'm gonna read Adrian's. Okay, Adrian
Yeah,
came
I'm
over from
reading
Campus,
it.
I think. Oh, no, she came up from Spyglass. Adrian, are you on? You want to just pipe up and say your question?
Yes, I actually don't really have a voice right now. I'm pretty sick. I don't think anyone wants.
Oh, feel better.
Okay, I can talk for you. Okay, okay. I don't know, Wendy, can you read that? So I
Yeah,
also
I've read it.
There you go.
I mean, that's exactly what we want, Adrian. Like, we want to go head to head, and we want to get like loud and proud of the tools and the tech stack, everything that you all have against our competitors.
Haley, mute yourself. Oh, go ahead. Say that again, Wendy. Yeah, we want to get loud.
If everyone is reading Adrian's comment, like, yes, like, we want to go head to head with our competitors. Like, we know we have the best value proposition. You combined our tech stack, our marketing tools, our business model, our community, like, it is second to none. So absolutely, we want you to get loud and proud about all of this.
Yeah, I came over from Compass, and their tool, they have pre-made templates. So you don't have the vast, variety of Canva. So this is, in my opinion, is better.
That's good to hear, Mr. X Compass. And I tell you what, I mean, a lot of us are out there moving and grooving with the Compass agents. We are here in Austin. And one of the biggest challenges, Wendy, which you've probably heard over and over, and for you guys that don't know this, Wendy actually came over here to EXP from Compass. So that was one of her little detours along her path. But so she knows that Compass world well. And therefore, Wendy, you've heard like challenges we've had over the last couple of years in bringing Compass agents over is they're just like so addicted to their tech stack. They're so addicted to what the screen they get to look at every day. So I know that that's not the first time you've heard that, and you lived and breathed it for a while. So I think that's
Eddie makes a really great point though on why this is better, because Compass built their digital marketing, tool to emulate Canva. The interface actually looks very much like the Canva interface when you log into it, but they have the parameters on it where they don't have all of Canva. By partnering with Canva, we're leveraging like their expertise where it's fully open. You can pick any design. Anytime they do something new, we're going to have access to it. Anytime they add a new feature, like the resizing or the magic writing or all the AI features that they have on their product roadmap, like we're instantly going to have that. We're going to be able to like move faster because of that, because we're not into the having to build it. We've got all of Canva, which is, amazing. That's just doing that for us. And we just have it. But not having this sandbox of, oh, you only have these templates that you can use was one of the big things that we wanted to get away from. Because that was the biggest complaint I heard about our old marketing center. Is there weren't enough templates. There wasn't the template you were looking for. It was too slow to update templates. Like we wanted to take all of that away so that you guys weren't limited by that.
Huge. Okay, you got the questions rolling in.
Yeah, I got the questions rolling here.
Can we now cancel from Christy? Can we now cancel our pro membership with Canva now? Can we do that? And then along that thread, so is it possible to merge our two accounts? I don't think so, right?
So that's not possible. So let me handle those one at a time. So Yes, if you're currently paying for Canva Pro, the agreement we've made with Canva was two-part. If you're paying monthly, you can cancel anytime. If you paid annually in advance, you can cancel and they will prorate you back for the months on the proration for that. You'll still end up with two accounts. So when you cancel your previous Pro account, if that's what you had, or your previous Canva account, will still remain, and all the designs that you had created there will stay there. But you'll be able to share them over to your eXp Enterprise Canva account. So then you can design and edit and add features to them then from your eXp Enterprise. So you can share between the two. So it's not like you have to like download and copy over, just leave them there. They'll stay there in the free version that you'll always have access to. And then you can just share them over to your eXp Enterprise version to work on them from there. So I think that covered both of them. I'm going to write in the, I can't type this morning. In the chat, I am writing a resource for all of you that is exptoolkit.com/Canva. And that is a whole resource center for you on all things Canva. So there's an FAQ. We even did, if any of you are new to Canva, we did like a one-pager that you can print off, where you can sort of print it off, put it next to your computer, and it will guide you through sort of logging in and setting up and doing all of those things in Canva. So it's exptoolkit.com. I spelled tool, did I spell? No, I spelled it right. /Canva. And then on Monday in eXp World, we're having all day trainings. So on every hour, the top of the hour, we're starting with like a 15-minute overview and then a live Q&A for the rest of the hour, live training. So members of the marketing team will be there on the hour to help you in the eXp World in the Marketing Center.
Beyond awesomeness. This is crazy. So I'm assuming, Wendy, because somebody way up the thread asked about a on that listing app in Canva. If there's a tutorial out there, I would imagine in the Canva, the toolkit Canva, you have that in there, something like that. Okay, great. And then also in all those trainings on Monday, I'm sure they're going to be going over that.
They'll go over that. They'll go over buyer presentation stuff there.
So that was another question. Do we have templates in there for buyer presentations?
Yeah.
Sweet. Awesome.
We do. And John, we might have to triage yours one-on-one. So just ping us and we'll get support to look into that. We've had a few, permissions things usually on the back end that just need to be looked at. So just ping us and we can get that figured out.
So I think that's basically what Nicole's asking as well. Both of them have team accounts. So Nicole, I think that's
team accounts can move fully over, but if there's some permissioning things, like I said, might have to look into that. Okay. And Lily, the MLS feature will pull in only EXP listings. So all EXP agent listings, not just your listings, it will pull in. All right, Brian. Brian's moving us on to a new topic. So do we want to go on to a new topic? You can so any questions on Canva, contact support. So support at exprealty.net or .com. Either way, we'll get there. And like I said, Monday, or just ping me in workplace chat, and I'll have somebody on the team reach out to you. Okay, so that was Canva. So
amazing.
I knew that was going to be like a hot topic for everyone. I think Brian asked, what's on our radar for marketing for the next 12 to 24 months? More storytelling about our company. Yes, that's definitely very high on marketing's radar. All things to support sharing the stories of success and sharing the community. So everything that sort of happens underneath of that. So you'll continue to see us leaning into social. You'll continue to see us leaning into additional tools for all of you to use, especially into sort of market segmentation. So luxury market. There'll be some other announcements next year on sort of other niche markets and how we are putting together tool sets to support you guys in those particular markets. One of the things we launched this week, in fact, yesterday, was a partnership with CoStar. So CoStar for our commercial advisors, and for any of you that like have relationships on the commercial side of the world, CoStar is like, the tool that they need to have in their world. So we've now brought CoStar into commercial. And by the way, do all of you know that you can attract commercial agents? That like our commercial brokerage is completely separate from our residential brokerage. So eXp Realty, eXp Commercial, but you can share through the revenue share benefits, whether it's a commercial agent or a residential agent. I believe we have huge opportunity in the commercial market to really disrupt that business model, because the commercial market has not changed for decades in terms of how brokerage works. And we're getting great traction there. So that is, an important focus of how we cross-pollinate those opportunities from international to realty here domestically in the US and Canada, and commercial overlapping that. So I no real specifics there, but those are the things that we're thinking about from a marketing perspective of continuing to grow voice, grow market share, grow tool set, grow value proposition. Let me see.
When you think about
other questions,
when you think about all the copycats out there, it's like we're so far beyond what they can. It seems like in our lifetime they can ever catch up to, because of all the things you guys are putting in place.
Yes. Yeah. And it is, they often talk about like a first mover's advantage, right? When you're first in, you take a lot of the bumps and the bruises and figuring it out. And eXp certainly did that. But once you've navigated and survived through that, then you are really in such a great spot. And that's exactly where we are today. We have doubled down on operational efficiency. So getting you all paid, handling your transactions, supporting all of you, like that has been an incredible focus in the last 24 months, is making improvements there, getting agents onboarded, making that a smoother process for, all of the, new folks that are joining us. So we have made like such tremendous strides there, coupling that with continuing to double down on being loud and proud and sharing the voice and sharing the message and giving you all the air cover in your markets of who we are, operational efficiency, voice, market share, mind share, and then what all of you do every day. Like those are powerful things that Leo and Glenn like to say when they're talking to people, that any new brokerage that is starting today is going to look more like eXp than any of the other sort of traditional brokerages, because of what we've been able to do. What they're not going to be able to do is get to the scale of operationalizing and the last decade of learning that we've had that's gotten us here. And that has allowed us to really be so well positioned for this next chapter of growth as we move forward. We love hearing that, Adrian. Like that's exactly what we want to hear. So Adrian said in the chat, like I got paid very quick on my first deal after moving over, much faster than prior brokerages, and didn't have to chase my commission. Like that's exactly how it should be.
Yeah, 2 years in, and I don't know how many transactions that is. Not as many as it used to be, but I think on my first 30 transactions at eXp over the last couple of years, I've gotten paid same day.
Yeah.
Same day. within
Wow.
hours, signing docs. So
can I share just a recommendation? If I were your business marketing coach, here's the coaching conversation we'd be having probably this week. We probably would have had it last week, but we're going into the end of the year. We're going into the holidays. Usually it's a little lighter time, right? In terms of, what's going on with our clients. It's absolutely the time that you want to do some housekeeping in your business. So we tend to talk a lot about business planning, and I believe in business planning. I'm more of a 90-day business plan cycle than a 12-year, because things are 12-month, because things change so quickly. So think about like your business plan. But what we don't talk about that is equally important is housekeeping our business. So particularly from a marketing perspective and from a marketing lens. So it's a great time to do a marketing audit or a brand audit on your business. And what I mean by that is take a look at everywhere that you have a bio about yourself. Does that bio need to be updated? And this is where ChatGPT, I did a post on LinkedIn this morning. I said, ChatGPT is your new business bestie. Like it's your new work bestie. Like use ChatGPT, run your current bios through chat, and then give chat some prompts. Make this more conversational, make this more personal, add some humor to this bio. Like use chat to help like take those bios to the next level, but absolutely do some housekeeping and looking at those bios and updating them. Look at all the portals. How is your bio, your contact information, your photo? What does that look like on Zillow, Realtor.com, Homes.com, any other portal that might live? Do the same thing on all the social media platforms. Look at like your bio on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn. Look at your cover photos. Look at your contact information. Is it all correct? Is it accurate? Does it need a refresh? Those are like great things to do. Same thing with your board. Look at your local like board information, how that's appearing in the MLS, how that's appearing publicly as well. Look at all of your marketing materials, your personal website, how you appear on the EXP website, any templates that you use. We've been talking about CMA templates, open house templates. Thank you for listing letters. Thank you for buying letters, drip campaigns, all of those things. Like just make that list for yourself and get eyeballs on what needs a refresh here going into 2025. And then lean on ChatGPT to help provide uniqueness and help bring your voice to life in a different way. And that is a great exercise to do going into the end of the year. I'd set aside 3 hours, turn off everything, and just give yourself a brand audit.
that's some pretty gold advice right there, right? I think we can all kind of just get busy and lazy and focus on other things and forget that. And I agree. So I was so like resistant to ChatGPT, but oh my gosh, a bunch of us on this call, we've started like really using ChatGPT, and it's like, oh my gosh, this just made our life so much easier. It got me off the blank page, right?
Yeah, I mean, it literally is your new work bestie, right? It will save you so much time. It's like that 80-20 rule is let chat do 80% and then you do the 20%, right? Like you then like do the 20% of like editing and adding and fact checking. It doesn't sound like me, but it gets you away from that blank page. And the more and talk to chat like you would talk to like you would talk to someone. So like chat, like write me a LinkedIn post that is fewer than 200 words on the topic of how to stay disciplined on a Friday. It's going to come up with something, right? And then say, make this shorter and make it from a perspective of giving advice to people on marketing. And like that's where just like you have that conversation, right? You read it and then you say, no, I don't like that. Do this. Help me problem solve how to present an offer that is significantly below ask price to my sellers. Like ask chat questions like that and see what it comes back with. And you're going to be like, oh, that's interesting, right? Turn this chat into a 1-page PDF. And you can take those chats and take them over to Canva and put them into Canva and say, like, make me a social graphic, like make me a PowerPoint presentation. Like all of those things, like that is super powerful. And Canva is really doubling down on AI, where you'll see a lot of enhancements next year of being able to do those things of like, make me a 5-slide presentation on this. And you can put a link, which could be a link to a market update or something like that, that then they can turn into a slide or turn it into a newsletter. So that leverage can do 80% of the lift, and then you can do the 20%. And that is going to increase your efficiency and how much content you can put out there in the market and just your time, right? If you can take a task that would take an hour and turn it into taking 10 or 15 minutes, if you're doing that once a day, twice a week, like that's significant in giving you back time to spend with your family and do the things that you work so hard to be able to do.
Especially right now.
Yeah, I feel like ChatGPT is going to change all of our lives like the cell phone and the World Wide Web did. It's like all the limitations you would run into on Google that you want to search and ask. And I feel like you just ask chat, right?
Yeah, you ask chat. And I mean, so as the marketing team, we use it a lot for, different things, but, I've been talking a lot about like Chat 101 class, like Chat 201 is like create your own personalized chat. So you can create a gated chat that is your voice. So like I have my own like Wendy Forsyth chat. So when it's giving me replies, it is already using my voice. It is studying, recordings of me from YouTube, from social posts, from anything that I've written. So it is then writing like me when it responds. And all of you can create custom chat GPTs.
Do we have training on that, Wendy?
We had in Elevate Coaching, Carrie Sauve has a whole coaching program on ChatGPT, but specifically custom chats. But also, if you ChatGPT how to create a custom ChatGPT, it's going to tell you what to do.
I can also send you Phil Stringer's prompts as well. Wendy, I have a question. Do we have a rebuilt drip campaign or do we make our own?
A rebuilt?
Yeah.
I don't know what rebuilt means.
Okay. I had it, it's popped up before from other Compass agents. And so I'm not familiar with it. And so I just figured I had you here.
Yeah, I don't know like that phrase. I don't know that term, what that means. So I'm gonna say like a no.
Or do we have like a newsletter template that is updated on a monthly basis that's generic enough for everybody, but we can go in and customize our own?
We don't have a pre-format. I mean, we have the template. We have lots of newsletter templates now with Canva, but we don't have one that like has sort of like suggested articles that then you can do the 20%, right? That is something that is on the product roadmap for next year.
So Wendy, Nicole asked this, and I think this is, maybe you have this already, but this could be something that you could help with maybe. She said, if anyone has an annual marketing systems audit, which is basically what you just kind of went over with us, that would be a full kind of, I don't know, give us your Wendy's 10 points of this is what you do for a marketing audit, year-end marketing audit. That would be a cool thing to get from you.
Yeah, I actually have a template for that. So I'll share that,
That'd be
Stacy,
awesome.
with you, and you can share it out with everyone.
Yep. And I will put it in the tribe group. Everybody on this call, you're in tribe. So I will post it. Nicole and others that have asked that, I will make sure we get it posted in there. And if not, you just email me and I will track down Wendy.
Awesome. We'll send it over.
Well, how blessed are we to have you? Okay, I know I missed, Mary Jane had a question. Could you real quickly go back over what the CoStar offering is, like that partnership we now have with them, or however we want to term it? What's the offering?
So CoStar is specifically for commercial advisors. So it's only available in eXp Commercial. But if you're a commercial advisor, CoStar is like your bread and butter. So commercial doesn't have MLS in the same sort of way that we have on residential, but CoStar has a system called LoopNet, which has a lot of the commercial listings in markets sort of across where they cover. And that's where sort of commercial advisors want to go to get that information. They also have a whole analytical suite. So if commercial advisor is doing a memorandum and they need to get sort of competitive information and they want to know price per square foot in this sort of a commercial development is averaging. So sort of our equivalent to a CMA on the residential side. They would use CoStar tools to help prepare those analytics to go out and pitch themselves for listings or to work with their clients. So if they're doing like a tenant rep deal and they want to know, they're representing a tenant for a retail space and they want to know what did the 4 other retail spaces lease for in the area, CoStar will help them get that information. Without a tool like CoStar, they're really sort of flying blind. So it's a really critical tool set to have. And a lot of agents would pay for CoStar separately, which is hundreds of dollars a month. So by bringing in the partnership agreement, we've included it as part of the eXp commercial tech stack so that they're not having to go out and pay all that money for it. So our commercial advisors are pretty happy about that. It's
I had 2
instant
questions
money saving for them.
2 follow-up questions. Do eXp commercial agents receive Canva as well and access to Canva templates, commercial templates in there?
Yeah, they do.
And then can realty agents get a discount on CoStar, eXp realty agents, or we just pay market price?
Yeah, you need to be a commercial, I guess technicality there that I don't really know, Brian. So I before I answer that, I'd need to check. My gut is going to say they're going to say no, because you're not licensed with commercial. You need to be the deal is licensed with commercial. But if you wanted to pay for it separately, would they give a discount? Is a nuance of something I'd have to ask.
Yeah, there's quite a few agents that they do some commercial as well.
Yeah,
so
the resi-mercial.
Yeah, it would be cool if and you can only pick one. So
yeah, you can only pick one. That's right.
Wendy, I think it's important if you just to piggyback on Brian's point. We're talking to some people right now that do a little bit of both, and that would be helpful.
Okay. Yeah, I'm writing that down as a takeaway. So I'll go find out.
And is there, can we find out what that offering is? Is there somewhere in the eXp world so that I can forward that over to somebody considering?
Yeah, if you go to life.exprealty.com, we posted a copy of the press release and info in a Life article. So that would be the fastest way to go get all the details.
Thank you.
Oops. So it's life at eXp Realty?
Yep, .com, and it's in the chat.
Okay, I know I did not get to we didn't get to everybody's questions. So we got 1 minute. 1 minute with Wendy. Oh my gosh, I'm panicking. I'm kidding. We can get you back here, I bet. Anybody else want to pipe up in this last minute?
This is Erica. I have a question, but it's vastly off topic from what you're chatting about today. And it's a series of several questions around wholesaling. And I think it'll take longer than a minute. So I'm happy to pull this off the chat. And if you provide me with someone's email address or phone number, I can message them that way.
Okay. That sounds like it's probably going to be a brokerage auth question.
Yeah.
So I would reach out to your state broker on that.
Okay. Got it.
Wendy, what advice would you give agents going into 2025? Like, what do we absolutely need to do in this market, or even new agents or experienced agents trying to remarket ourselves for the changing market and the dip we've all experienced, right? Like, what do we really need to be focused on to have a better year, you know, especially with the tools we have?
Yeah. The good news is that like some of the economists are coming forward and saying they think that next year is going to be a better year in terms of number of transactions. So I think that that is encouragement, right, for all of us going into next year. But despite what happens in the market, which we can't control, my advice would be focus on the controllables, right? So what you can control is like that relationship you have with your database and your sphere of influence. Like stay like connected to people. What you can control is the voice you have out there in mind share. So stay committed to, you know, those newsletters, those drip campaigns, the social media aspects of that. That consistency will create opportunity. You don't know when, right? Like you don't know when that person that may not even be in your database, but follows along on Instagram, it says, okay, now's the time, right? That I'm ready to move. And yeah, I see Brian, like I see Todd, I see Stacy, like I'm going to reach out. But if you're not consistently doing that, you know, that's not going to happen. I'll give you an example. I had a conversation earlier this morning with somebody that is just getting into trying to build their brand on LinkedIn. And she said to me, she said, I only had 15 likes this week. That was the maximum amount of likes I had. Like, I don't think it's working. And I was like, you've been doing this 2 weeks. Like that you don't have enough like time into this. And that's the absolute wrong measurement of is it's working. So we have some interesting projects that are in the works to help all of you with continuing to like spread that network effect of your voice out there in your local markets and beyond. But stay committed to that. So I try to keep it simple, right? How many contacts am I going to make every single day to people already in my database? How many contacts am I going to make to, you know, brand new people that I don't know that are in my database? And then how much time and what does that look like into doing brand building activities, which I would align with sort of social media posting, networking events, and things that don't have a direct, like I made 10 calls, I knocked on 10 doors, but you can break that down to say, I, you know, did, you know, 2 posts on Instagram, a post on LinkedIn, a post on Facebook, and measure those things and break that down very simple that if I do these 8 things every single day, I know my business is going to hit the levels I want it to hit.
Well, this was just packed full of amazingness. I just want to give you a big old hug right now. Right?
Big
For
hugs
you. What?
Big hugs back.
You generously gave us 3, almost 4 minutes extra. I mean, thank you so much for your time.
Very welcome. Happy holidays, everyone. Work hard, but take some time to recharge too. I think that it's going to be a great 2025. And thank you all for what you do every single day to represent EXP out there in your markets and across the world. You do it amazingly well, and we're all so appreciative.
Thank you. Thanks, Wendy. Thanks, Stacy.
Take care.
Everybody have a great Friday. Those of you in Austin, we'll see you at the holiday party this evening. Those of you not in Austin, we'll miss you and think of you. And everybody have a great weekend. Bye,
You
guys.
too. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.